Welcome to this week's episode of Politically Correcting Podcast with me, the Jose P, along with my co-host Lavelle Lewis.
Gia.
Austin on the ones and twos.
Oh, hello.
And we are collectively your weekly dose of common sense, as well as your girl's favorite threesome, of course. And this week, our illustrious guest, Matthew Singleton, correct?
Yes.
The owner of Skate Lovers in the great Northwest District. Thank you very much for coming on here to lend yet another voice of reason to our show. Thank you for gracing us with your presence and all that you do in the community as well.
Appreciate it.
Let's toast to our ability to share a drink with friends, have open and honest dialogue, and always striving to walk away, still being friends. Salud.
Salute.
Salud. I gotta get a cup though.
Do you?
See, I'm trying to fast, and this will totally jack it up. But it looks so good, and it's a gift. So
we received an amazing gift today. One of our listeners who is almost always on. I don't think he's ever missed one actually. Fred from the Striker. He comes on here as Striker. I should only say that name of there. But his podcast, I want to shout it out because we were on there as well. His podcast is just an old guy with a mic, and he came by with a special edition Tullamore Dew with special congratulations on our new show. We just got picked up by the radio. So our podcast will be Monday through Friday from 12 to 1 starting in September. I'm going to open this up for you so I can give you a little peer pressure.
oh my
Lavelle.
God, my cup right now.
Going through a fast.
We gonna do this again?
There's probably going to be a bunch of people on here saying, what kind of black man goes on a fast?
This black guy.
By choice, should I say, by choice.
Actually, you know what?
We can't even hear you.
Black people have been fasting for quite some time.
Thank you for enlightening
Going
me.
back to the motherland.
Yes.
I don't know anything about that.
You only eat when food is available to you, right? So that's
When food is available or when you catch it?
When you catch it, when
Okay.
it's available.
That's a biblical principle.
Yeah, and it's not this Western diet, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Bull.
That's actually probably a good idea. The 3 square meals is not always good for every single person.
Yeah, but let some people tell you, oh, I get hangry and I can't skip a meal.
Can't function. I skip breakfast every day. I do not eat breakfast.
Really?
Sundays. I'll eat breakfast on Sundays. Sometimes on Saturday.
Thanks, Striker.
Maybe on a Monday. Maybe. That's just because my wife is off on Mondays. And she'll be like, she'll wake up and be like, hey, you want some breakfast? That's the only time I eat breakfast.
Yeah.
Because I get hungry really early. So if I eat breakfast at, let's say, 9 o'clock, I'm hungry again by 10:30. So then I have to eat my lunch. It came from when I actually had a job. I would go to work. So if I had
when he had a job.
Yeah, when I have a job, I have my own business, so I work from home.
Right.
So when I would go to work, if I were to eat breakfast in the morning, by the time work started at 9 o'clock, I was hungry by 10:30. So I'd be looking at the clock every 10 minutes, saying, "Oh man, what time is it? What time is my lunch?" So it started back then. I said, you know what? I'm just not gonna do breakfast anymore. I'm only gonna do lunch. I like a big lunch. As Puerto Ricans, we tend to eat big dinners as well, but I kind of try and cut back on that. Try to keep it to portions.
Right.
I say that, doesn't mean I actually do it. So
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't have to worry about fasting at all. You're nice and slim and you're in great shape.
Thank you.
And I'm not gonna date your age, but
Thank you.
for whatever age you are, you look really good.
Hey, I'm not ashamed. I'll be 60 in a few days.
Oh man, I did not.
So,
Man,
hey.
it's the skating. It must be the skating.
It's
the
good,
skating.
man.
It's the skating and
Alright.
being around all the youth all the time.
Well, I better keep skating.
There you go.
Keep on skating.
Well, let's get to the Fred again. Thank you so much for being one of our loyal listeners.
Cheers, brother.
Striker, you got an awesome podcast out there. Thank you so much for having me and Lavelle on your podcast. Sorry for Lavelle breaking your microphone, or was that me?
That was me.
Okay, I don't think it was me either.
It was totally me.
Let's start the podcast off right with the video of the week. This thing, have you seen this music video? It has gone absolutely berserk out there.
Let's see.
Let's pull it up.
I've been selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay, so I can sit out here and waste my life away. pay. Drag back home and drown my troubles away. It's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. For people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true. But it is, oh it is, living in the new world. With an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, cause the rich men.
He's saying the rich men from north of Richmond. So he's talking about the guys in DC, the politicians.
I wish politicians
There you go.
look out for minors, and not just minors on an island somewhere. Lord, we got folks in the street, ain't got nothing to eat.
That one hit you,
Austin.
huh, Austin?
That was good.
You felt that one.
God, if you're 5'3" and you're 300 pounds, taxes ought not to pay for your bags of fudge rounds. Young men are putting themselves 6 feet in the ground, 'cause all this damn country does is keep on kicking them down. Lord, it's a damn shame what the world's gotten to. For people like me, people like you. Wish I could just wake up and it not be true, but it is. Oh, it is, living in the new world. With an whole soul. These rich men north of Richmond, Lord knows they all just wanna have total control. Wanna know what you think, wanna know what you do, and they don't think you know, but I know that you do. 'Cause your dollar ain't shit, and it's taxed to no end. 'Cause the rich men, north of rich men.
What's this gentleman's name again? Let's give him some credit here for that.
Oliver Anthony.
Oliver Anthony there. Rich men north of Richmond. It's like the blue collar anthem of the
I've been
year.
selling my soul, working all day, overtime hours for bullshit pay.
Well, get your weight up.
What do you mean?
I don't know. I was just being a dick. I mean, struggle. It's real. It is real.
How do you feel about that song, Matthew?
Expression, but I can relate.
I one of the biggest things that I am feeling right now is how much our dollar is taxed, and every dollar you earn, first of all, they tax it just to pay for the whatever it is that they pay for, and then on top of that, the after-tax dollars you have, then you pay taxes on whatever you buy, your house, your vehicle, clothing, groceries, all those are taxed as well. So it's like a tax upon a tax upon a tax, and yet who keeps getting richer?
I know.
These politicians that are in DC. We talk about, Joe Biden, who's been able to become a multi-millionaire, and he's not the only one. It's on both sides as well. I don't think it's a Republican thing or a Democratic thing. It is I don't want to say a swamp thing, but it is politicians who have allowed themselves to forget what they're there for, in my opinion. And it's happening here in New York as well. If you want to pull up the article on the New York state legislators who gave themselves a raise.
It enraged you.
No, actually, we cut out the article. So New York State senators and assembly members gave themselves a $31,000 raise. So they were making like $120,000 before. Now they're making like $150,000. So they have become now the richest state senators and assembly members in the country.
So you get a raise for messing up.
So you get a raise for constantly messing up. But not only that, and this is the issue I have, they put in there a caveat that limits how much money you can make outside of doing that job, which in my opinion, there's pros and cons. They're saying that you were limited to $35,000 you can make in outside work. So your focus and your attention and your full-time hours needs to be focused on legislating, building the state back up.
Mm-hmm.
And there are Republicans who decided to sue against that part of it, saying that it's infringing on their rights. It's infringing on their, I think, First Amendment rights to be able to go out there and make their own money. Their businesses are paying them. Their different investments are paying them, whatever it may be. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I feel as though personally we need to get money out of politics, because I don't understand how someone making, $160,000 a year, let's say $160,000 a year, somehow magically becomes a $100 millionaire, multi freaking nine figures.
I think the problem comes in where you have the influence within the markets, right?
Mm-hmm.
The social dynamics of everyday life. The markets kind of, hinge upon what's going on within politics, also what's going on socially, where people are spending their money, how people are spending their money, the emotional connection to money itself. It can open a door, in my opinion, to politicians, kind of taking advantage of the news or information before it actually hits Main Street.
You mean the laws that they're voting on?
Right.
That they will somehow, sell stock before they vote no for certain things?
Right. Exactly. And a lot of times the market, the free market, has to go to the government for specific whatever reasons, right? Whether getting something permitted, whether getting some sort of tax break,
zoning,
right? So you're gonna always have that conversation with free market. How do you? I mean, I don't know. It's a slippery slope to kind of go down that road, because me personally, I think a good politician should understand business and financing, right? You should have some level of understanding how capitalism works. But we seem to keep getting people inside that are anti-capitalist and want to kind of destroy the I don't know, the process, so to speak.
Also, they, went from being a bartender to now being.
Are you talking about AOC?
I'm not talking about anyone.
Talking about your boo.
I would never.
You talking about your boo.
I do love her. You know why I love her? Because she proves that as an American, you can, if you put your mind to something, you can literally do whatever you want. And it does not matter if you have the skills that you think are supposedly necessary for that job, as long as you're willing to put up the risk.
Or you just got to follow the script.
Or follow the script.
That they write for you.
But that's the same thing in business. There's business scripts out there that as long as you follow the script, you will also make money.
Right.
So I don't blame her. I don't like it at all. But also at the same time, do we really want to put restrictions on who can run for politics?
Well,
or what they stand for?
Yeah. And the question would be, we have two polarizing political parties now, Democratic Party, Republican Party. In there is a perception out there that the Republican Party is the one for capitalism, and then the Democratic Party today, they are anti-capitalism, right? Can we say, I don't know if that's, what everybody believes today, but it's what I see now. But at the same time, the Democrats have more money coming from lobbyists and other high profile philanthropists,
super PACs as well, which have unlimited buying power. That's the other side of it. We can talk about, let's say a congressman who has a side business in construction, and that construction company, tends to get a bunch of the state deals. That's that's however you want to look at it. The other side of it is the lobbying that happens behind the scenes when big pharma, when the military industrial complex, all these military companies that are saying, hey, I'm about to build this big bomber here. Make sure you go to war because we need to use this. I think that's the other end of it. It's keeping money out of politics. They should make a certain amount of money. I mean, I believe in if you are willing to put yourself into that position in politics to lead, you should be able to take care of your family, like as a full-time job. As a city councilman, we don't make very much at all. We make $36,000 a year. For a family of 3, 4, 5, that's pretty difficult to support a family on, especially in this economy. So I can see how you want to have that extra job. I can see how you want to have, that side business where you can get some, additional revenues. And so it's kind of difficult for me to limit to that. But at the same time, at the very least, we need to get lobbyists out of the back pockets of our politicians. All these companies that spend multi millions of dollars to, make laws that benefit them. We need to get them out of being able to, have private meetings or host events where it's closed to the public and you have to spend, $25,000 a plate just to come in there and listen to somebody.
Right.
And that's, again, both sides. It's not just one side at all.
The ruler of coin, who's ever the ruler of coin, is the one that's going to be able to manipulate the politicians, I think.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what makes
Rothschild that said that.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's what makes the Lannisters such an evil
nerd.
Oh, I mean,
I got that reference.
yeah, you got it right. Right.
Still
So
a
it
nerd.
makes them so formidable because they took advantage of people based off of their financial needs and wants and desires. And if you get a bunch of bumbling idiots into United States government, like let's look at Joe Biden, let's look at Mitch McConnell, let's look at the people who've been in Washington for decades, career politicians, those people, how much money have they been given throughout the years so that they can maintain their position? Sold out years ago.
So should it be a threshold?
Threshold in what way? What do you mean?
They can only make so much in a term or whatever. A threshold for how much they can make.
Outside of what they get paid from the government.
Right.
Right. But then that's the thing. Like, that's where it goes back to what they're doing within the state, right? They give them a raise, but they're saying you can't make money on the outside. But they'll do something corrupt anyway. They'll create like.
But they just made their own, right? They just gave themselves.
They just give themselves, right? The county did the same thing.
It's crazy.
It is crazy, especially in a time where people are hurting.
Yeah. Well, are they really hurting? According to them, they're fine. Like everything is awesome.
While you tell us what it is, are you supposed to be able to tell us?
Oh yeah. Well,
while you're doing that though, pull up the article where Biden says everything's okay.
This is easy
with the economy.
This is easy.
Oh, I think we might have.
You see that? You see what he said? No F-bombs. This is easy. Like, I may have said an F-bomb maybe once or twice a show for a stretch, but I have racked up some days where I have not dropped the F-bomb.
That's pretty good. We're gonna put that underneath your probably underneath here since you're mostly looking at me anyways.
Put it right here for right now.
It's upside down.
Oh yeah. How about Frank's? Is that an F-bomb?
That's not an F-bomb.
That's not an F-bomb. Okay.
No. Actually, let's bring up the documentary about skate
Striker.
lovers here. Yeah, you're the man,
reminder.
Striker. I appreciate you.
And it's laminated too, so
it is
put
laminated.
some thought into that.
Yeah, he put some freaking legwork into that one.
That is a good question. How did Joe Biden become a millionaire on a public servant's pay?
That's not how he became a millionaire. But let's talk about skate lovers here. Bring up. We're gonna go to 43 seconds. We're at the 43-second mark. That was a good point for us to get into.
For everybody.
I've started skating in 1973. How you doing? How you doing?
So 50 years of skating.
I cleaned the floor with my clothes, and I was embarrassed, but I'm one of them people. If I like it, I'm gonna work on it until I get it. And so I started teaching myself. It was something that kept me off the streets. And our streets definitely hasn't been the safest. I would like them to have that place that they can escape all the negativity and be able to come here and enjoy what I do. It's good exercise. It's a good place to be social. Yet you can have fun and you don't have to have anyone else with you in case you're a loner. But it's a safe environment. I moved in the building, but I had to renovate and build what you're in now in order to make it a roller skating rink. It was a factory.
In the Great Northwest District.
Yes. Ragu spaghetti sauce. Really? I used to work here. I used to work in the 80s.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, go from working to
I'd had no
Never
idea that
would
was
imagine.
from here
Who would
too.
imagine?
Sure
Until
is.
I read the bottle.
Ragu?
Yeah, until I read the bottle. I don't use it, but I'm
And
definitely
you know, it
snooty
doesn't
on
matter
sauce.
what color you are. It's all about love. And we did this mural to show you you can skate, no matter how small or how tall.
That's messed up.
You should be awesome. Low level, center of gravity. You should be freaking.
I'm terrible. I'm terrible at skating. So that's the space right there. You can go ahead and cut it off right there. That's
Very
how much
nice.
how much square footage you have there? I went and met with them yesterday. Yesterday was it?
Yes.
Man,
Yes.
fantastic.
That area is about 40,000 square feet.
40,000 square feet that you had to convert into a skating rink. You got a kitchen there. You got playrooms. You got bounce house or bounce area, video games, teen area. I mean, it is massive.
Dodgeball,
Yeah, dodgeball area. I'm gonna have to go over there and just start whooping up on little kids, I guess. No, that area was massive, and there's some unfortunate things that are happening from the landlord that we hopefully will get fixed, or I'm hoping to try and keep you in the.
Moving on.
All right, we're gonna keep you in the Northwest though, as my goal, but we got to be where the clientele is. So I appreciate all you have done. How did you come up with that concept to bring to Rochester though? Like, and how in your mind, because you say you started 50 years ago roller skating, like at what point did it say I'm gonna turn this passion into an actual business? Because when I was there, I was like, man, that's awesome. That is the American dream, to be able to say, I love doing this and I'm going to provide this for other people so that they can also enjoy what I do. That's amazing. So,
well, for me, it didn't come like that. I've always enjoyed it, and it's definitely different now that I've had the experience of being an owner of one. You would think that if you love it and you own it, you can skate all the time, anytime. That's not the reality.
Yeah.
That is far from the reality. But it came to me. I've always, I started a business, and I've always mentored the youth in the community with remodeling homes and working on cars and that kind of stuff. But I've watched a lot of people in our community that go out and do those type of things, and it just kind of got me, because some of them, you really can't make no money a lot of times, and then your body start beating on you. So as you get older, you're still a mechanic, or you get older, you're still trying to climb up a ladder and go on the roof. I never seen that for me. It's all right to have the skills, but it was definitely an experience when you can turn a key and people come and bring you money. Yeah, that's sweet.
Other people money.
That's the turnkey you love.
But the whole concept was, I've been in this city. I grew up in the Hanover projects back in the 60s. And I've seen a lot of stuff go down in the community with the drugs, the violence, the racism, the police brutality. I mean, I've lived in some of that stuff. And so to me, I believe as we get older and we know better, we should do better. So I've been offered to do roller skating rinks outside of Rochester, but I refuse to not give it a chance in my community to help save some of these youth, as it did me when I was younger. So we've done thousands and thousands of people, sometime close to 10,000 a year. coming in that door. And it's not the easiest thing because it's Rochester.
Right.
But it's tough love. It's tough love, you know, and I put a lot of time and money and passion into what I do. And you just can't let somebody just take advantage of, you know, disrespecting it on the level of you're closing and losing out. And that's one thing I like to share if I could. For entrepreneurs, you hear a lot about that's what the community want. That's what the city want. That's what they want. Well, I did a study a while ago, and I started collecting all the information that would come across the news with the shooting at McDonald's or at Walmart or the different places that it was happening. And I realized I went through some tough times trying to deal with the city and getting permits and zoning and all the different things that you have to go through. I believe that if that's what the community really wants, when one take their money and their time to build a business and they go through the hoops or they have to go through whatever, I believe they should be given a certificate and a form of credit that would allot them the opportunity to start their business. So if they should have a confrontation there, they're not just getting shut down or getting these big old fines and they're just starting up. Give them something as a reward for, listen, we appreciate you opening up in Rochester. And here's your first one, because now you have a chance. You may need more surveillance. You may need more security. You have a way to try to maintain that level of business. But as soon as with some of them, you have an incident, it don't have to be directly from your place.
Right. It could be in your parking lot.
Yeah, you got a fine, you getting shut down. I thank God that in the 12 years I've been operating in this city, we've never had
not one incident. I've never heard of one single incident at your location.
Yeah. A lot of police don't even know how to get there. So I appreciate that too. That's true. I thank the police department because they've been on board with skate lovers and a very supportive fire department, different ones. Yes.
That's awesome. You're absolutely right when it comes to small businesses in the city of Rochester have to jump through hoops in order to become a small business, especially if you want to try something new or different.
Right.
You know, in order to convert something into what you want to see for yourself or for the community, it's like, well, we don't really have that zoning here. So you have to go through this process to get an alternative zoning. Like even with people don't realize this, even with the axe throwing bar that we have downtown,
right,
they had to go through a lot of crap for the zoning because they're like, well, we don't have this zoning currently, so we're going to put you through the rigmarole of going through the whole gauntlet of a million different things just to be able to open up as a business. Yeah, it is sad that we have so much money in the city in terms of how much money we are in control of on the government level, and it seems as though we're funding things that don't really make sense or have no kind of follow-up to it to make sure that the money that we invested in is really bringing about any kind of return back to us. That's just my own personal point of view, but I've spoken to many people in the community who say, you know, you spent $5 million on this. Why couldn't we use that for small business grants? And I said, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. And in New York State, especially, New York State has money. They just decided they have enough funds. How much was it? And pull up the article there. Was it like $5 million? They got a bunch of money that they're going to put into housing the new asylum seekers, which I have a real issue with this because we have a city full of people who are fighting to pay rent, are fighting to pay RG&E, are fighting to put food on their table, who are deciding between paying their rent late and getting a charge or paying their RG&E on time and keeping their electricity on. I mean, it's unfathomable to me to say that New York State has all this money. We're going to give $1 billion for the in taxpayer funds for the Buffalo Bills to build a new stadium. That's crazy to me. And then we have enough money to give for how many? I'm gonna pull up the article while we're talking. But give me some insight into your thoughts on that right there. The fact that we have people in the city who are hurting, hardcore. We have people. This is all right. Let me jump into this. I'm gonna jump into my
Going on the soapbox.
pedestal here.
Hopping on the soapbox.
My biggest issue here is we have a city that's built for 300,000 people. 300,000 people. That was back in the day of Kodak, right? We now have 220,000 people ish. So we have 80,000 less people than we did back then. But the housing stock is still there. My feedback to the city was, I see that we're spending $40,000 to tear down a house, tear down a blighted house, empty, foreclosed down house, whatever it was, tear it down, and then spending another $400,000 to rebuild another single family house. You're telling me that we couldn't give out of the $440,000 that we just spent to tear down a house and rebuild one, we couldn't give, let's say, 11 families $40,000 to renovate the house because their roof is leaking water into their kitchen. I've seen it myself.
Homeowners,
Homeowners who have spent their entire lives, who are raised in that house, who never want to leave it because their taxes are low. They're 70 years old. They've only lived in that house. Their taxes are got discounts on them. They live in a good neighborhood, but their house, they don't make enough money because Social Security doesn't pay them enough. They retired believing that after 60 years of working or whatever, maybe 50 years of working, that their Social Security that they paid into would be there to be able to support them, just to find out that it's nowhere near what they were making before. That's my issue, is that we have a lot of good citizens in this city, good people, really good people who just want what's best for their families, who just want to be able to leave their house behind when they pass along to give it to their kids so that they can raise their kids in the house. A lot of people like that. And we're just turning a blind eye to them. And I understand we need to have empathy, and we need to love other people, and there shouldn't be borders and all that. I get all the
there should be borders.
Yeah, I believe there should be borders as well. But when they come in and we bus them all around the country, fly them all around the country, and then they land in Rochester, 77 of them, we put them in a hotel, we feed them, we clothe them, and then New York State governor says we're going to, put 2,000 of them into housing, and you, the taxpayer, are going to pay for it. It just feels like how much more you can't keep peeing on me and freaking calling it rain, right? How much more are you going to do that to us in a state where we are taxed up the wazoo for anything you want to do?
Anything. And then what makes it bad, I've seen the city itself, some of the city property is bad.
Yep.
But
the
who
city owned
finds
property.
Them? Yeah.
Right.
The stuff they own. They don't even keep up half their own property. But now you taxing everybody else that's owning.
Listen, let's do quick maths for everybody real quick, right?
Go ahead.
So the average cost for a night at a hotel here in Rochester, you can look it up right now. The average probably be $80.
I was gonna say $80, $90.
$80 to $90 a night.
Huh.
Multiply that by 77.
80 times 77. Okay.
Mm-hmm. What's that number?
12,000.
80 times 77.
1,200.
6,000.
That was way off.
Multiply that by.
I should have had a calculator on that one.
Multiply that by 30.
It's crazy.
That's $184,000 per month at a hotel. This is only 77. Now, the more that number increases, we're on a pocket for $250,000 a month.
But that's with food.
That's just
everything.
For housing.
Right.
That's
what
just
I'm saying.
That's just for
that's
housing.
What I'm saying. You didn't put the food in there and all the other.
Nothing.
Did you hear? Not to cut you off there. They lost 20 people already.
Yeah, I think it was 20
20 some people disappeared.
Oh,
they
know they could get.
They said they went back to New York.
Problem.
Yeah. How do you know they went to New York? They went back to New York City though.
They was getting more.
No, they went to where they originally were supposed to go.
The hotels was better.
Yeah. I don't think the hotels in New York City are better than ours. It was pretty crappy over there. But yeah, they already lost 20 people, and then we're supposed to get another. I believe it's 120 people again back into the city.
This is Joe Biden's America.
It's crazy.
It's Bidenomics, right?
You still got vets. You still got a lot of homelessness. You got a lot of people that own homes going into the summer, but you don't have no
Who are
more,
about to lose it.
and
who are
you
about
don't
to
have
lose
no
their
more
home.
money to help revive. Man, yeah,
'Cause
this city is
You don't understand. If you are,
sad.
if you understand what's happening in real estate and you're looking at the numbers, you can look it up yourselves. The numbers are out there for how many people are 60 days, 90 days late on their mortgage because they're finally, now everything that happened during COVID is catching up right now.
Right.
That's what's happening. People don't understand it. All the money that we spent, that we got from the federal government, pretty much gone, which means that inflation is going to
Where
jump
did it
up.
go?
Right.
Like Walmart? Like Home Depot?
They got a lot of money during COVID while everything else was shut down. You were shut down. I was shut down.
Yeah. And then none of that made sense. But now when we look at it, it is just like you were saying before, the red tape, the bureaucracy, right? The things that you had to go through. You had to go through the government first for them to say, okay, you can continue to operate, but you have to do X, Y, and Z, or we're going to fine you more money. We're going to,
We're not going to give you nothing.
Right.
We're gonna
Right.
take
we're going to
some-
take some from you, and don't get it. I mean, we understand there's a quote unquote pandemic. Now that we're looking at it, to me, allegedly, right? Now, to me, it looks like, again, there is this push to kind of shut down the little guy, to take away that ability to
big
be
time.
a free capitalist, business person out in the market. They attacked him. They attacked the small business guy, and just, well, it's so crazy. They were talking about in like Maui, where just what's going on out there. All of the
Don't jump
Walmarts.
into it yet.
I'm just setting the deck because I know we're going to talk about that.
Oh yeah.
But all of the Walmarts, all of the big box stores are
Perfectly
still
fine.
perfectly
They're
fine.
there.
But it
Yep,
seems
they
like
didn't get burned down.
No.
the little people again is getting stepped on. So you can't go back to the whole COVID thing again. You can't do that because now, business
It's crazy.
individuals, entrepreneurs, they're savvy. They're ready. Like, if you got a restaurant, all right, Uber Eats, y'all, deliver this out. We still coming to work. We still can make money.
Right.
Right. Hey, social distance, whatever, all that bull crap that they pulled. So I think if the more folks who are entrepreneurs are able to talk to the people who are the consumers, and we can let the consumers know, like, listen, there's a reason why there's a reason why our prices are going up. It's not our fault. It's the government fault, right? It is what it is. So the more you keep voting these people in, the more you keep celebrating these people who come in and act like they're going to save you. Yeah, they're getting paid from the oligarchs on the other end.
Mhm.
They're getting paid the top dollars while the people that you're in the community with are getting squeezed. They're getting squeezed out of the market. And it's how big banks become bigger. They take over the little banks because they can't continue to compete. It's how McDonald's was able to stay open. It's how they shut the gyms down, but they kept McDonald's and liquor stores open.
And liquor stores.
Yeah. Home Depot, Walmart, all the.
Mhm.
that's it.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
about now? The gas is going up. I was just at Home Depot. OSB one sheet is $20 when it was just $11.
$20.
$20 right now.
Crazy.
It was just $11.50 about a few months ago.
It was like
Did lumber come down
$6
yet,
like
or
2
is
years
lumber
ago.
still up there
Yeah.
high?
Lumber's
still high?
way up
It's still,
there.
oh my god.
Oh man. And they saying, oh, because of Maui and because of everything.
No,
No, I ain't trying to hear none of that.
bullshit.
Yeah.
It
You know,
ain't
I ain't trying to hear that.
Maui
That-
ain't got shit to do.
I think there's a little bit more nefarious to it as well as global warming. That's what Barbara said. Yeah, we'll get into that as well, Barbara. Thank you.
Of course.
I think it's a little bit more nefarious to that because, as a small business owner, you can write off certain things, right? They don't want you to be a small business owner. They don't want you writing off anything. They want you going back to work because you can't operate a business, and they want you having a W-2 income so they can tax the bejesus out of you.
Yeah.
I really believe it. I really believe they're squeezing out there. I mean, do you believe that there is a middle class anymore at all? Because I haven't seen anyone in the middle class anymore. It's either you're really doing really well or you're struggling and faking it till you make it. That's from my perspective, that's what I see.
That's what I see.
And this city is already how much further can we go down as a city? I mean, we are as bad as it gets in this country. And yet we now have 57 individuals that we have to also pay for. They can sit there and say that New York City is paying for all they want. That's not true because your taxes supplement New York City.
Absolutely.
We have to pay our taxes because we're associated with New York City. So we are paying for that. And then we have another 150 people coming in again.
150 more on top of the 77.
We should have at least, I believe it's 200 to 250 in the next like week coming
next
in.
week. All right,
It's got to be dollars on their head for coming here, because all the
250.
other states they could have went to. Why New York?
Why didn't they go to the high dollar areas? That's my thing. Like the high sprawling areas like Rhode Island, Massachusetts,
Right.
where they got tons of money, tons of land, tons of housing, tons of rooms, empty rooms in their 10 house, mansion with 10 bathrooms. Go ahead, take them in.
Yeah.
Sad.
We're spending.
You got numbers?
Yeah, we're spending about, so with the numbers that you just gave me, right?
Let's say 250.
250 people
Mhm.
at least $200 per day for that individual to function and have a place to stay
Everything
and
included.
food,
Mhm.
all included.
Government money right there, because I don't.
Government money.
Yeah.
Government money. It will cost the city $50,000 per day times 30,
Mhm.
1.5
million.
million a
Yeah.
month.
What?
That's your tax money. That's your tax money. That's it.
Times 12.
But hold on, they're not even working yet.
No,
Nope.
So
Times
what
12.
they
happens
can't.
to
They
the-
can't even get a work permit for 6 months.
And
18 million a year.
is it true? I thought I heard them say you couldn't have an apartment building and house them and get funding because
Of
they would
course
find
not.
you.
Of course not.
Well, they're about to change it. They're about to have it where they want to put these. They want to put. I don't even want to say new Americans. I'm afraid to say asylum seekers, because do you see what happened in Buffalo?
No.
Mm.
Two
No.
people got raped. Raped because they bust them in. The two people from who they bust in. Raped one of them was one of the workers at the hotel.
What?
Yeah, in front of a 3-year-old.
Yo, hate this man all y'all want, but Trump called that shit. He said
he did. He really
called
did.
it. He called it.
Yeah.
He said, yo, there's rapers, there's killers, there's murderers, there's bad people that is coming in these borders.
Because we have no way of knowing who they are. If you have a passport, you can go to any border gate you want and say, hey, I'm going to Canada for a day. I'm just going to go look at the falls and have some fun, right? And then if you decide to stay there for another 3 years, they're going to have to come find you. That's not what's happening here. They're not coming through saying, here's my passport, this is who I am.
Right.
No, they're saying, my name is Joe Poe. And then the American government saying, okay, what's your date of birth? January 1st, 1981. Okay, well, we're going to have to do some research on you. Give us your fingerprints. And then we're going to talk to Mexico down there. Even though you're not even from Mexico, you're from El Salvador. And we're going to try and find out who you are, where you're coming from, what you did down there, why you're here. Until then, here's some free hotel. Here's some free food. That's not me being a bigot. That's not me being a racist.
Right.
This is the actuality of what is happening in this country right now.
Sad.
They don't know who these people are. They don't know their names. They don't know why they're here. They don't know if that child that they're with is actually their child.
Ooh, you see, you
Mm.
must have read my mind, Jose, because I was about to one up the conversation.
Because if you have a child and you come over the
Yeah.
border illegally, they're all right, come in. We'll take care of you.
Well,
Go ahead.
there's a video circulating where a former, I think she worked for Child Protective Services,
Yeah,
and she was talking about, she was saying how,
Project Veritas.
yes,
Yep.
and how a whole bunch of kids, undocumented kids, went into the government's hands, and then all of a sudden they mysteriously vanished without a trace.
Were they healthy?
800
Healthy one
children, 850,000.
and just went into the government's hand, and there's no trace, there's no track, they have no idea. So she's calling out the government saying, hey, we're the middleman for child trafficking. And I mean, if you think about it, if you set up a diversion, right, you have everybody looking at this way saying the problem is, these asylum seekers coming into here, they don't see all of the kids that are just kind of slipping through the cracks and being sold.
Wow.
Like, slavery is alive and well, folks. If you don't see it, if you don't believe it, it is alive and well. Cheap labor for, it's not even just sexual anymore. Body organs,
yeah.
anything
Allegedly.
I gotta hit that
anything
one.
that can be used for whatever gain of this human
To make a
body
dollar.
itself.
To make a dollar.
To make a
Right,
dollar.
just to make money. It's
Right.
a billion-dollar industry, and if you don't, I mean, and whatever, you don't have to believe everything you hear. You don't have to believe any and everything that you see on TV. However, there should be some form of pause, because this is how they were able to do it in World War II with the Jews. Misinformation, distract folks, set up diversions, and all of a sudden, hey, you know what? Well, you know, whatever, send the Jews to concentration camps, right? That's how they were able to do it then. It's how they're able to do, you know, pretty much everything that they do. There's always some form of diversion to set up to where people are distracted one way, and then just, you know, morally just let stuff go, because there's nothing I can do about
But
it.
this is where I don't understand. If we're going to sit here and say that America has systemic racism, and we're going to allow brown folks to use children to come into our country and then lose 850,000 kids
It's only 800
at our border.
It's only
850,000
It's only
children.
That number.
That's the
It's not a
most,
lot.
in my opinion, that's the most racist thing you could do, is to allow the fact that they are brown kids that came up from Mexico to just go missing, and no one cares about it.
Well,
and no
that's
one,
what's being reported. It's not just them.
yeah, that's
also.
just not,
It's
Yeah.
not just them. Let's not forget Haiti. Let's not forget the Clinton Foundation. They just had bodies in a van, undocumented.
Mhm.
You know, so let's not forget about them.
Allegedly.
Oh no, that's not alleged. That's literally on fact.
It's got to put it out there because YouTube might block it. For that right there.
There's no way they should block that. That's actual. That is a factual.
Yeah, but the fact
event.
that you said Clinton, you gotta create another word for that.
It is what it is. Like
I'm just
they were
saying.
there. Okay, it wasn't Hillary or Bill Clinton.
Maybe we
It
should
was
say
their-
B and H.
It was their assistant.
What if we say B and H from now on?
There we go.
B and H means Bill or Hillary
Bill
Clinton.
those
B and
two.
H. All right, so
Um,
everyone knows now. When you hear B and H, that means Bill and Hillary Clinton.
I don't understand why this, like, if you, and it's so sad, like when you mention or had this conversation like on social media, I've had it multiple times, and I will comment, like it was just something I saw about Jimmy Kimmel, right? I was just like, oh, he likes kids anyway, right? just throw a shot at the Matrix, right? And then somebody replies, oh, QAnon, no.
Yeah,
Right? Like,
You're the black face of white supremacy.
I am. I don't know how, but I'm just calling it how I see it. Like, I mean, Jimmy Kimmel is associated with a lot of folks who was
All of
on
them.
that island.
I'm not quite sure there was anyone who wasn't.
Yeah,
Maybe not Jay, like the old school guys know, but the new school guys, all of them.
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll talk about Oprah and her ties to the spiritual healer who is serving 200 years for sexual abuse and assault, and she was bringing people to him.
Plus Oprah with her 1,000 acres on Maui
Oh man,
that was not touched by the fires.
poor Oprah. She's gonna have her day, man. She came
After
at
she
Michael
bought all that
Jackson.
land in California,
yeah,
that also
man.
had a huge forest fire, and her property did not get hit. either?
Nothing. None of the elites. Jeff Bezos'
Weird.
house is fine.
Bezos
Bill
good.
Gates' house is fine. All the elites' house are intact.
Will
in Maui.
Smith.
Will Smith.
Who
Yeah,
shares a
Will
birthday
Smith.
with me. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy out there. So what the Monroe County executive, your friend over there, decided to do was call in the National Guard. The question is, who is he calling in the National Guard for, though? Because I mean, we can have 30 people shot on Clinton in a weekend.
They just sat
And
in the deck, man.
what happens then? I don't know. A bunch of people go out there and do a press conference and then say we need to come together and we need to fight, the nonsense, yada yada. But he said that because what happened in Buffalo with the 2 rape victims, that he brought in the National Guard. So we can have,
Why?
yeah, is he hiring them to babysit the new folks that came into Rochester, or is he hiring them to come and protect us, the good people who just want to live life freely and not be afraid to walk to the corner store or send your child to the corner store, or I don't know, play in the backyard without getting shot?
You know what, man? I think this is just another diversion. This is the government
Add it to the
knowing-
list.
Yeah, add it to the list. This is the government knowing that they are human traffickers on the low. We have we have people seeking asylum in this country, and they're getting put into so many different cities. Like, talk about. All right, let's go back to the slave trade. The United States government knew that people were being shipped into the country from another place, right? What is different between then and now? I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people who are seeking asylum who probably will go out into the workforce and work for pennies on a dollar. Damn near should be working for free at this point. But also, there are people who are probably very desperate for a safe place to be or live. And some folks don't value their kids the same way. So they would sell their kid, possibly, or just say, hey, whatever, go ahead, kid. Do what you got to do. Good luck. Hope you make it through. Like, this stuff happens. Is it like a rampant big? I have no idea. I don't know what the number is, but this just doesn't seem right. This seems like slave trafficking, human trafficking. It smells like it to me. All of it.
Yeah, I don't disagree.
I
mean, you can't go missing that many children and not do something about it and say, let's hold off for a second. Let's figure this out. There's obviously something wrong if we lost this many children. We don't know where they are. They were brought here. They were told that their uncle lives at this address. They were given a piece of paper that has an exact address in the United States. That name doesn't match your name. And that person is supposed to take care of your kid now while you go through the process, and then your kid goes missing.
So are you telling me that the satellite was out? They can't track it. And National Guards are not looking for them. They're coming to...
They coming for something else,
oh,
man.
My bad. Okay.
They coming to shut down the people who
want to protest against the nonsense. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I really think that's what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
I think it's going to be for people like us who are going to sit there and say, you know what? Enough is enough. You know, well, we as a people, this is my issue. There's so many people that will complain about this kind of thing, but what are you going to do about it?
Right.
Because Adam, let's just call him Adam, whoever his last name may be, he's going to skate right back into his position probably with no real support from the Republican Party for his adversary, let's say, because there's a Republican and a Democrat that run for a position.
Yeah.
If you were to look back in the last 4 years of what Adam Bello, fine, that's what the name is.
There you go.
Adam Bello has done in terms of COVID response, in terms of helping our small businesses recover from his COVID response, in terms of the medical industry, and when they fired everybody for not getting the vaccine, yet now we're paying people double, triple, quadruple the amount of money just to come in from outside the state to work at the same hospital. And then add to it the border crisis that has now brought in illegal aliens, aka asylum seekers, into our city because we are a sanctuary city. And we're not that far from another city that just had 2 rapes happen from the people that they got busted in. Like, how much more nonsense do you have to deal with from a feckless leader? I'm sorry, you can turn off his photo on that one because I'm gonna talk my shit right now. I'm tired of him. I'm tired of the nonsense. I'm tired of the stupidity. I'm tired of the ridiculousness. I'm tired of the freaking leaders that keep getting voted in because they're hand-me-down politicians. The same political party that has the same political machines inside of it. Got Joe Morelli. We got Adam Bello. We got Jamie Romeo. I'm naming names. The same 3 continue as one moves up, the next one moves up.
Fearless mayor.
As one moves up, the next one moves up.
Yeah.
You know, he aligned himself. As one moves up, the next one moves up. As simple as that. And the Republican Party, as much as I'm not a Republican, I still have to stand up and say, we're not going to get anyone from the Independence Party. We're not going to get anyone from the Libertarian Party to stand up. You know, it has to come from the Republican Party, because who in the Democratic Party besides myself is willing to call them out on their nonsense?
You are probably.
Who else out there is willing to stand out and say, I don't care what anyone thinks. This is, we're digging ourselves into a deeper hole than we already are in. We're already in this hole. We already suck. Our city sucks right now. And I love my city. I love my city so much. But we suck right now. We're on the bottom of like every list or the top of every bad list.
Well,
The worst place in America for a black person to live is Rochester, New York.
It shouldn't be, because
They literally came out with that.
you know what?
Wow.
You know, I disagree with that though too. Like, you can write anything and say any city isn't a good place for black folks to live, depending on the black folks within that city. We have so much like history in this city as black folks that we just don't know. We don't know. And yet we're staring at city council and also the mayor office, mayor's administration. You go to city hall, there's a lot of representation in that building. A lot of representation. So the color excuse is bullshit to me. Really. It's about competency. If you are competent, if you have some level of, I don't know, awareness of what's actually going on.
Experience?
Not even, I don't even care about experience, right? Because that's going to come within the job. If you fuck up, make a mistake, be like, oh, you know what? Damn, I thought I could motion this, but I can't do it, right? Whatever
The
mistake,
firemen and policemen that get paid one day.
that is complete incompetency. And that goes on the mayor. That's the mayor's fault. Period. Like, at the end of the day, yes, you may not have been the one.
He blamed the whole bank. He blamed Chase Bank.
He's never. And this is a problem with
Chase Bank messed up.
This is the problem with our leaders. There is no accountability. You
None.
bite the bullet, even if it's not your fault
Right.
personally.
Right.
You still bite the bullet, bro. That's called being a leader.
Mhm.
You stick your neck out there, and if so be it, they vote you out for things that are not your fault. You will have way more respect as a man, as an individual, as a person, man or woman, for sticking your neck out there when it wasn't popular. That's probably why myself, I've been alienated by so many people within my family. But guess what? I don't give a damn. I don't care, because all of the things that I believed and I said out loud that wasn't popular, it's popular now.
Mhm.
Like, it's the shit.
We were together
now.
all during COVID.
Yeah.
All during COVID, we were out there talking
Wow.
all the hot shit, saying
Mhm.
this doesn't make sense. This doesn't, when it comes to masks, when it comes to mandating vaccines, we were never telling anyone to not get the vaccine. We said, you know what, do what's
Right.
good for you. But to mandate it is wrong, especially for people who are of our age, maybe not Austin's age, but our age. It wasn't, the benefit was not there for us. But yeah, we definitely lost a lot of, I don't even want to say friends. I'm gonna put
You
air
was
quotes
never
on
a friend
friends.
or a
Yeah, they
family
were
member if
Facebook friends,
Right.
because if they were willing to drop you because of what you believe in, cool.
Yeah.
You
I'm cool
really
with
didn't
that.
have it anyway.
My soul is
Yeah.
not sold. Simple as that. But then again, they're gonna feel the same way.
Yeah.
They're gonna say that their soul's not sold.
Let me ask you this, and we're talking about community. You were saying earlier about just folks within the community and working, being an entrepreneur, etc., like that. You are a carpenter. You work with your hands. Do you see that as something that's also lacking from within the people? The respect for hard work and being able to, work
Trades.
hard and get out there and actually use your hands. Do you think that that's starting to kind of fall back, and that's probably why we're in this situation right now?
I know there's a lot of talk about it. The thing I'm disappointed with Rochester after 60 years. Very disappointed, because I think it's all about the dollar. It's just all about the dollar. It's like the humanity side, man, is sad, even to, and then we were just talking about this the other day. How do you invite people to come see your city? What are they coming to see? Where's your downtown?
Mm.
What is downtown?
It is downtown.
So,
Right.
I mean, you got to have some skilled trades to survive. You really do. And it's sad, because as we were talking and you said earlier, these cell phones, this TikTok, this Facebook, all the social media platforms, the different things that are moving on in the community kind of captivate our audience. While that's happening, there's so much other stuff going around.
Yeah.
Things being signed off, and
Be a
now by the
TikToker.
time it trickled down to you or trickled down, you're lost.
Right.
Our education system, our poverty system, our crime system, it's just
You didn't see it coming.
Let's be entertainers. Step dance.
Well, that's why that's one of the reasons why they came after me, because 3 years ago is when I wrote the email saying, if we don't stop the nonsense that's happening in our city, the streets are going to take over. That's when they were throwing parties in the middle of the streets late at night, keeping people up, even though they didn't have to go into work. They still had to work from home. And they were saying, oh, it's the culture. When someone dies, this is our culture. And I said, whose culture is this? Because I know a lot of Black and brown folks this is not their culture.
right.
I understand.
You don't normalize that stuff.
That's what they did. They
But the
don't realize
unfortunate
that.
part is that you ain't Black, you're Puerto Rican.
I'm not allowed to say
gotta
those things,
You
right?
gotta pick and choose
I'm
when
allowed
you
to
can
say these things, I
speak your
guess.
mind, Jose.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
When they
My
say,
mama didn't raise me that way.
when Black folks talk,
My mama
you
didn't
shut
raise me
your
that way.
mouth,
Not
Jose.
me.
That's what
Not
they were
me.
saying.
They did say that.
That's what
They literally said, "This is not your fight."
Yeah, that's why.
And then I have the email. This is not your
Because
fight.
listen, I'm gonna talk shit about the ATVs running up and down Cleanthorne Avenue. Like, yo, listen,
I took that
that's
fight.
crazy.
It's not the place to do it. But what is happening behind the scenes, I'm gonna give you insight into a bill that's happening in Texas, actually. It's called the Get Married, Stay Married bill. So one of the things that I do love is when you are able to incentivize what you want and then tax what you don't want. I mean, that's what the government does.
Yo, I almost,
No, not that.
I almost spat on this whole microphone because that dude neck is like the same size of his head.
Got the Texas bill with the parents that will qualify for property tax discount. There we go. So this bill right here, this is HB 2889, would reward exactly that, the Get Married, Stay Married bill. Parents with 4 kids will qualify for a 40% property tax discount. When you get married, you get a 10% discount on your property taxes. As long as you get married and you stay married, you can get 10% property tax discount. You have 4 or more kids, you get a 40% discount. And then when you hit 10 kids, which is stupid, your house becomes tax-free. And the benefit continues even after your kids become adults. You continue to still get those tax benefits on the house that you own when your kids become adults.
Mormons and Muslims is looking at that like, yo, let's get it.
Right. I mean, that's yeah, absolutely. Well, they're calling this racist, saying that, this is only going to benefit white Christian folk. And to me, I was like, damn, do you not know Latinos? We have 20 kids.
Listen,
One room, living.
You know what?
Rice and beans.
Of course, it's racist because in order for you to have that many kids, you have to have a nuclear family. If you have that many kids, that means you have a father in there impregnating that woman. And this right here is so anti-nuclear family, right?
Yep.
Like the saying, the coming out after that. That's like, oh, no. Wait, whoa. Hold on.
Austin got something. Hold on. Let the liberal talk.
I know a lot of people with a lot of kids who are not a nuclear family. I've heard saying I have 4 half siblings. I don't know. I'm just
within the household. This
you
household.
lose the benefit when you divorce.
both my parents have been divorced twice.
Oh, there you go. Lose the
Neither one of
benefit.
them would
But what
keep
I'm
it.
saying, within this household, whoever you're married and you got those kids, once you married, those kids come underneath your umbrella. I don't care if you come in, you six kids late, and you about to be like, oh, I love you too, boo. I'm about to give you 4 more so we can be tax free.
Tax-free. It's not worth it. Trust me, it's not worth it.
Yo,
It's not worth the amount of money you're going to spend on that. But Stryker would have his house for almost for free at this point, 50% off. Married and 4 kids, that's 50% right
again,
there.
this bill,
That's
this
crazy.
promotes the nuclear family. This promotes making you stay together. This is really a loophole within just the bullshit that's welfare does.
They're saying Black and brown folks don't get married.
Yeah, and
Number one, and they're also saying that it's anti-gay.
But who is the message coming from? Who are the people?
You know who it's coming
Right.
from.
So again, the same people that pushed welfare onto black and brown folks when back before welfare, the black family had a married household 80% across the board, right?
Mhm.
So, and I know from my own, you know, family situation, my own family dynamic. My grandfather was married, his mom and his father were married, so I know that to be true. And then once welfare came, you know, everything, you know, hit the fan. Again, people who call anything like going to the gym is racist. Okay, if you hear somebody say it's racist, that means they don't want black people to either talk to white folks, they don't want black folks to go to the gym, they don't want black folks to have a nuclear family, they don't want black folks to do anything. Just look at all they need to hear or see is racist, Republican, Trump. Okay, you know what? That's it. That's all I need to know. Not gonna look at it. Nope. They told me everything I need to know. This right here is another case, another situation.
So how you feel about it?
It's bullshit.
No, how do you feel about the bill? Would you be in support of it?
Yeah, why not? Give them a tax break. Kids cost a lot of money.
Kids do cost a lot of money.
They cost money.
But it does not go towards gay families who adopt children.
What
shit happens.
What does marital status then have to do with it?
It has to be a man and woman.
Well, but like
good job.
Kids cost a lot of money. Why do they have to be?
Has to be a man and woman.
So you won't be.
It's Texas.
So you won't be herding cats going and just adopting kids
that's,
just for tax breaks.
That's in it.
Don't adopt kids for tax breaks. I mean, that's all you're gonna use the kids for.
Like
just
the what's that movie with the football player that they're saying now?
Oh, The Blind Side.
The Blind Side. Yeah.
I think that's bullshit, man.
Think so? You think he's just trying to get on the news?
I mean, he's been retired for a little bit, and it's a good distraction. It's a great way to divide people some more.
You think everything is a distraction?
I do. Everything's planned.
We'll get into Maui in a minute, though.
Everything's planned.
That would be amazing. There's 0% chance New York would do something like that.
No.
Yeah.
But you can be on welfare though.
You can be on welfare
you get
real
10
quick.
Kids, we're gonna give you an extra $350 a month on them stamps, girl. But you can't have a father in the house.
No man. no man whatsoever.
Wow.
Gotta be single. And he better have a job because we're gonna get him for child support. ASAP.
Sad but true.
That's the way it is.
Sad but true.
We gonna make sure you take him to court for child support, boo.
Because the state gets up.
Oh, they get a nice little check.
They get their VIG.
The middleman.
As the Italians would say.
The middleman.
What's the VIG?
This, matter of fact, August is Child Support Awareness Month.
Child Support Awareness Month?
Yes, Child Support Awareness Month. And it was hilarious.
I'm pretty sure everyone knows if they're aware of child support.
Oh no, but we need a specific month. August is Child Support Awareness Month. I learned that from doing my research on child support, and I was looking into Governor Cuomo. While Governor Cuomo had back child support he owed to his two daughters at the time, he actually had the audacity to announce August as
Mario?
Child Support Awareness.
You talking about Mario or Andrew?
Cuomo. Andy Cuomo.
Gotcha.
Said it's been, I think it was there before but he made the announcement that, hey, this month is August Awareness Month where we will crack down on people who are in the rears of their, mind you, he was,
unless they have a vagina.
No, they're getting it too. But they're not getting.
Women are not paying child support like men are paying child support.
They're not.
0% chance.
They're not.
Close.
Nothing close.
Not even close.
That's because they only make 70 cents on the dollar, Jose.
Uh-oh.
Austin
ain't speaking up for the libs today.
No, that was it. That was the
that's
a talking point right there.
That's my real voice.
Oh,
obviously.
You didn't catch that?
Speaking up for the lips.
Oh, geez. Let's talk about Maui because this is going to turn into a whole conversation. This is going to be the we got to put it as the conspiracy theory of the day.
Yeah. Favorite part of the show.
All right. We know, most of us know, Austin told me at the beginning here that he had no idea what happened in Maui.
Yeah, there's something going on in Maui.
He had no idea.
You've been under a rock for real. You know what?
I went camping. I went camping this weekend. I didn't have like cell service or nothing.
He does. He also did say
Austin in the way he disconnects. He can disconnect better than
no. He disconnects every day. He says the only news that he listens to is our podcast.
That's great.
It's here in
Best
real
way to get
time.
news.
You are the man.
And that is correct. It is the best way to get your news because we talk about the things that they don't want us to talk about. All right, so we
You
know
like
what's happening
once
with
a
Maui.
week. That's all I can do.
Yeah, for real.
Once a
You go
week.
crazy.
You-
Go crazy if you're thinking about
Listen,
this.
you guys kind of like burn me out on news.
That's why we gotta keep you in here for 3 hours to just inundate you with
Yeah,
news of the week. All right, so Maui is literally one town in Maui because there's multiple islands, right? There's certain areas, there's certain towns. One town. The conspiracy theory is that the laser from outer space caused the fire. A laser, whatever laser it may be. Now, diving into this, there has been talks of lasers hitting Maui. In actuality, China has been involved with lasers hitting Maui in not that far distant past. It was a green laser, though. I don't know what that means.
Test run.
I wouldn't say that, but these are reputable. This is Popular Mechanics. This is not a far right conspiracy channel. The next one over is a local KHON2. That is a Honolulu station that talked about it as well. It says Chinese satellite lasers recorded over Hawaii. It says Japanese and local astronomers said a Chinese satellite has been caught on video beaming down green lasers over the Hawaiian Islands. This is back in 6 months ago. 6 months ago. This is February of 2023. A National Astronomical Observatory of Japan live stream camera atop the Subaru telescope in Mauna Kea recorded the footage in late January. So you can't discount the fact that people have said that they heard, saw with their own eyes lasers that started a fire. Do I believe it? I think it's pretty far-fetched. These green lasers, I believe that they weren't necessarily, they weren't burning anything, but they were caught. And they were beaming down from outer space, which there is an outer space and the Earth is round. So we've already caught China beaming lasers down onto the island. For what reason? Research it for yourself. You got to look into it yourself. So we can't discount the fact that people have seen lasers in Maui. The issue that has come up from all of this, not only the fact that people believe that lasers started the fire, which we'll get into the start of the fire in a little bit. The second part of it is the rebuilding process of the island. What's going to happen when they go to rebuild the island? So the residents worry that it won't be the same island, that there will be people who are going to come in, invest, pay people off and say, look, you don't have to rebuild that house anymore. Because let's think about this for a second. Let's think about this on a common sense level here. We know what's happened in the past few years when it comes to insurance. I know what's happened in the past few years when it comes to insurance. How's your business and homeowners and car insurance been? Has it stayed the same or has it jumped up?
Oh, my shit went up $50.
Right.
My shit just went up $50
per month. Yeah, not in total, but per month. My homeowner's insurance has jumped up. And when I discussed my homeowner's insurance with them, he said, we need to take a look at the rebuild amount because the cost of lumber, the cost of rebuilding has gone up so much that the insurance that you had before would not cover if your house were to catch on fire or something were to happen, an explosion or whatever it may be. So the insurance had to go up, period. It had to go up, regardless of what was happening in the city, regardless of people, in the city crashing cars into your houses, regardless of all that. The fact of the matter is the cost of rebuilding your house has gone up. Now imagine for a moment here, we're going to use our common sense thinking. This is an island. How many jobs are on that island that are readily available? This is an island that are inhabited by mostly Native Americans.
They make
These are
baskets?
people. These are people who refuse to give up the land. They refuse to sell their houses. They refuse to do anything. They said, no, we're good. We're good here. We don't need to do all that. We're self-sufficient. We're going to go ahead and do our basket weaving. We're going to go ahead and fish. We're going to do the things that we were meant to do. How much now, if your house, if let's say you lived in Maui, your house gets burned down to the ground, your insurance doesn't cover the amount of money that it costs to rebuild your house on an island. An island.
Yeah.
We had to ship in Home Depot products just to rebuild your house. Let's put that off to the side. Let's say you own a home and you own a business. Both of them burnt down. What's happening is that FEMA is offering, which comes in when there's a natural disaster, they're offering you low interest loans to rebuild. Not grants, loans. So what goes on in your mind as a business owner when, let's say you lived on this island, you owned a home, a few miles down, you own a business there, and FEMA comes around and says, hey, I know everything is burned down. I know you don't have a job, and I know you have no way of paying us back, but here's a low interest loan. What are you going to do? What are the people of this island going to do?
Well,
Yeah.
What are you're going to take on a loan that you can't pay?
well, to me, you should think about how all that's said. If you're going to offer somebody something that you know they can't pay back, you're really saying, I just want what you got.
Oh man, that's
What they say, debt equals slavery, bro.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's debt equals slavery. You know what's crazy, right? We're talking about Maui, but we just had fires in Canada. They burned down half of the tropical islands in South America. It seems like they really want this climate change narrative to stick, right? So they're like, if we give them like the fires and show, this is
natural.
the people that are always going to be affected are going to, it looks like it's going to be the self-sufficient folks, the people who are in the rural areas, the people who don't need the government. So now they need Oprah to come down there with pillows and shit like that, where she said, I'm just here, I know I got 100 acres of land.
1,000 acres.
1,000 acres.
1,000 acres of land in Maui.
I have 1,000 acres of land, and the people just seem as though they need my help. So that's why I'm here.
She dropped off pillows.
People, and I said, I'm just gonna go to Walmart. I'm gonna go to Walmart because people need help. Terrible. Oh, that's my first F-bomb.
Okay.
But Oprah, I don't like that bitch.
So you really don't think that there were lasers that started? And I asked that question because if it's true what y'all said earlier, the properties that were missed, what can be more precise?
Yeah, well,
That's a great way to put it.
Walmart was protected during the BLM riots. Just saying.
They
made it through just fine.
What I'm saying is, when I say I can't sit here and say that I believe it, because I need to see proof of it in order for me to say, yeah, I believe that. Now, am I saying that, is it feasible? Absolutely. I mean, we have a space force that, again, Donald Trump created.
No, you can't put that on Trump.
No, I'm saying Donald Trump created Space Force, and none of us know what the hell they do.
I will bet.
But I'm guaranteeing they have a laser.
Yeah.
In order to fight our enemies. I guarantee that.
Well, HARP has always been one thing
HARP
that
has always been.
And I remember a while back, and I'll always be in this whole conspiracy.
Yeah, we know.
Mind.
Yeah, we got
mindset. I was reading one time, like a couple years ago. This was pre-COVID. This is when Google, like, yo, you can literally go down a rabbit hole and find a whole bunch of stuff that just makes you wonder. One time in India, 6 people were struck by lightning in one city, like all around like the same time. Like, to have,
I heard the exact same thing.
Right. So
yeah,
we already know the probability of someone getting struck by lightning. It's
1 in a billion.
You have 6 people, and then it makes the news.
Well, if you remember, I want to say we in 23. I'm gonna say probably back in 1980. They talked about how man has now been able to reproduce or imitate lightning and
Yep.
make it strike.
Yeah.
And be exact, but they can target a certain area and cause the same effect.
Yeah.
To make you believe
Skunk
that,
Works, Lockheed Skunk Works. We talked about last week.
Mhm.
Exactly. Why would I not try a country like India where they don't give two shits about the people?
What do you also have? What? How many?
A billion people. So you got a
1.3
couple of
billion?
six that okay, we lost 0.00000000000.
Nobody. Nobody.
Right.
Yeah.
Percent. And I mean it's definitely not like what we did to Japan, right? Like openly, we just
With the bomb?
obliterate. Yeah, we're like, well, let's test run and say, let's start a war and let's test run this bomb. Like, let's see what happens.
We stopped that war real quick.
They waved the white flag before we even dropped the bomb, bro.
We had to make sure. We had to make sure.
Oh, just
had to make sure.
There you go.
Um.
That's why China's at us now.
Yeah.
Like, we coming back. Japan.
So the infrastructure of the destroyed city of Lahaina and nearby communities is under scrutiny after reports that hydrants and water pumps were knocked out during the Hawaiian Islands' biggest crisis, with the wildfires taking out the power needed to operate them and even melting the water pipes. I'm reading these things, but at the same time, I'm reading it and I'm like, man, this doesn't really too much make sense, because how are you melting water pipes? Like, you know, the water pipes in Rochester. How is a fire going to get to the water pipes in Rochester?
And how does it look like
Under the road, underground? You're not
Yeah.
going to get to those.
How hot?
you can't even melt a pipe that's full of water.
Right.
How do
Thank
even-
you.
You can't even melt it with jet fuel.
Yo,
Hey,
see
now we're getting
what
to
I'm saying?
9/11 right there. Nice.
It looks
I like that.
exactly the same thing. It's
Yeah.
incinerated.
So they're saying the water systems buckled under heat of Maui blazes, leaving no way to battle the flames, right?
Mm.
At the same time, they're accused, the Hawaiian Electric Company is accused of ignoring weather and not cutting power fast enough. So they're saying
Wow.
you didn't cut the power fast enough. And at the same time, they're saying that the water stopped working because the electricity was cut off.
Montgomery Burns would never.
So I keep digging, right? And it to me, it just doesn't, it just further doesn't make sense, because now they're talking about the cause of the fire, right? Cause of the fire is, now they're saying the power lines. That the power lines not being shut off created the opportunity for the fires to start in the power lines, or to be exacerbated by the power lines, because there's videos out there of electricity going back and forth from each pole to each pole, lighting it up, going crazy like a freaking fireworks display. But how is that possible if they were downed? And how is it? Just doesn't make sense. And it honestly, I mean, it really breaks down to that. It doesn't make sense. They're gonna blame it on the power lines that caused the fire, but yet somehow the fact that the power lines were knocked down due to the fire exacerbated the issue, and also shut off the power supply to the water lines or the water pumps that didn't allow you to pump the water. And well before that, the fire department called off saying that they had taken care of the fire and it was 100% contained.
That makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Well,
I thought I'm just going crazy.
It makes about
obviously.
as much sense as Giuliani putting the communication towers on the top of World Trade Center after it was bombed, when, you know, RPD and fire department, RPD, NYPD and the fire department said, don't do that, because that's not a good place to put the communication tower. It's the same thing, yo. And if where there's smoke, there's fire, and we're not putting everything on the federal government, because they don't operate alone,
and they're not smart enough, anyways.
no, right? But when we ask our president, do you have anything to say about the fires in Maui?
We got that. What does he say? What does the president say when it comes to the Maui fires while he's on vacation? Well, what he said was,
No comment.
No comment.
Yeah, no comment.
And then Jean-Pierre
Oh, this lady.
comes out and they ask her, hey, you know, he says no comment. Is it really no comment? And she says, oh, no, Biden is deeply concerned.
Yeah. I feel bad for her.
How much money did we send to Ukraine in the past 2 weeks?
About 200 something million.
No, 24 billion.
24 billion? Oh, okay. I saw something on a day. It was like 200 something.
Oh, yeah,
million
yeah,
for a
you're right.
day,
Yeah,
and
then, we're sending way more money to a country to protect their border than we are to our own country to help our own people, to give us housing, to provide us safeguard against the monstrosities that somehow directly pointed in one direction. It didn't take over all the Hawaiian islands. It's one town on one island that was somehow directly impacted. I'm sorry, 3 towns on one island that was impacted. You just, not only that, they were warned back in 2014 that the climate change was going to cause a wildfire on an island surrounded by water.
There's so much water in Hawaii. Doesn't it rain? Like,
there's a backup supply. I guarantee they have a boat at the very least that can pull water from the freaking ocean that they are surrounded by to shoot that water onto the island.
I know.
It's just, it doesn't
was out of
make
power.
sense. It was out of power. That's what it was. The boat ran out of power.
Yeah.
Look, I'm a big fan of, you know, talking about conspiracy theories, and, you know, usually we agree on conspiracy theories. Sometimes I'm just like, yeah, this is too far-fetched. This has so many missing holes in it, and the narrative behind it is so far-fetched, because not only when they talk about how they were warned back in 2014 because of climate change, that, you know, it was going to be dry this season, and it was drier this season than before. Well, guess what? It has raised how many, let me ask you, since 1950 to now, how many degrees has it increased due to climate change on this island?
I don't
2.
Oh, really? Oh, wow.
2 degrees.
It's on fire. It's on fire over there.
So we went from 86 degrees average in summer to 88 degrees average in summer, let's say.
That's a problem.
So the same climate change that affected that island that's surrounded by water that rains every day for an hour at 2 o'clock and ruins your entire time, because I've been there. It's so dedicated to that one town to cause a fire, not any other area of any other island on any of the Hawaiian islands. But at the same time, Rochester has had the worst summer ever in terms of the amount of degrees under 80, the amount of rain that we've had.
It's been a wonderful summer.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm loving this summer. Hey, yo, in last night's rainstorm caused
amazing.
a sinkhole right around the corner from M. Duke's crib.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, you ain't see about that?
Oh, that's what it was going on St. Paul?
Yeah,
oh, okay, that's why you're
sinkhole.
shut off. That's why you're stuck behind the traffic, or not behind traffic. Were you coming down St. Paul, and then you had to cut down
Well, the rig, they wrecked the rig.
Yeah.
The rig was on its side. I had to turn.
Oh, there was
around,
another thing. They probably fell into a sinkhole.
and they had everything blocked.
Yo.
The whole rig was demolished.
Wow.
Yeah, man. No, the summer has not been great because I've had 2 beach days all summer.
Show problem.
That's not my problem. You haven't had a single one. You haven't been to the beach at all, have you?
I don't do that saying shit.
Yeah,
know-
the beach is awful.
Totally gay.
You both are stupid, first of all. Don't ever say that again.
Yeah.
The beach is the worst.
Yes.
It's the worst thing.
I don't like finding sand in places sand should not be.
Then don't look.
It's awful. It's
Then don't look.
It's no point. It's really
No
it's
point.
I don't like sand. It's coarse and rough. Gets everywhere.
totally good with that.
Just go in the water.
Yeah, and then eventually you get out of the water onto the sand, and then you're wet, and so the sand sticks to you.
To your feet.
Yeah.
So you're mad about sand sticking to your feet?
Yeah. Why am I going to the beach.
And then at the
It
end
smells,
of the
it's awful.
at the end of the sand, you have this spray thing that takes the sand off your feet.
It doesn't work.
No,
It works every single day.
Are we just talking local or are we talking like
All
California?
beaches.
No, I'm talking about
Florida.
Charlotte Beach, the only beach we should be discussing.
I'm talking about beaches in general.
Beaches.
Oh. I love
Hmm.
beaches,
Well,
all kinds of beaches,
All types of beaches.
all types of beaches.
'Cause they have shoes now you can wear. You don't get the sand all over you.
Yeah, there you go.
I-
You
You
go
still
swim.
find
So
sand
now
you
somewhere.
look like a water shoe kind of guy.
Now I have to invest in order to go to
They're
the beach. Invest in some
$10 on Amazon.
Yo, the worst thing
ridiculous.
is trying to eat on the beach.
No, it's not.
Oh shit!
I've had no
Worst.
problems.
I've-
Not a
yeah.
single problem.
Oh, I'll tell you the story real quick.
Oh, here we go.
I got a good story. So
Baby powder.
last time I was on the beach, I was
Which
eating
beach?
Charlotte Beach.
All right, don't say nothing negative. I'll punch you.
Well,
Mhm.
this is negative because as I'm trying to eat my sub, a seagull flies over and drops a turd right on my sub, right on my hand. Worst
Really?
experience ever. I said,
Serious?
you know what? This is bullshit. Never doing this shit again.
You know, it's good luck, right?
Bird
No,
shit.
it's not good luck. It
It
was
is good luck.
literally like I
Was
had
it mustard or mayonnaise?
no, it was
Uh,
well, I had mayonnaise on it. It was wonderful turkey roast beef and cap sub from Wegmans.
yo.
And this goes to show how big the half was. As I'm looking at it, it just came right in the middle. I was like, oh, that's the worst thing ever.
Ruined a good gabagoo.
Never will
The
I eat on
gabagool.
the beach again. Eat on the beach.
So my worst beach experience is a bee was flying around me while I was trying to eat my sub as well.
Mm.
Bee was flying around me, so I swatted it, and it, I hit the shit out of it, so it landed in the sand, and so I squished it into the sand and then buried it. Right, ate my sub, laid down on my stomach just to get my nice tan on. Don't you know? I wake up to a stinger in the back of my arm.
Mm.
This bee rose up from the dead
Remember that shit.
just to lay up on me and sting me, and then laid down and died on the freaking
Yeah.
the blanket that I had.
Well, you left the stinger
Wow.
in you.
I wasn't even mad. I was impressed.
Yeah.
So I'm not a little girl when it comes to the beach with when it comes to animals or
Okay.
bugs.
Don't shit on my sandwich, man.
It was good luck. I guarantee you had a fantastic week the next week. If
I
you
was
were to think about
very
it.
impressed this year with Charlotte Beach.
That's
'Cause the
right.
last time
Tell
I
'em.
went, it was horrible.
Oh, don't
The
say that.
Smell, the sea. But I went out there this year, and I'm like, what? They got the wood off the water and the
Take
Right.
full credit.
seaweed off the sand.
It was me.
Take full
Oh,
credit
okay,
for
there you go.
When the beaches stink, it was him.
Oh, that was terrible. That it was bad though. That
One
time.
It
point
can
I
be
went in.
bad.
Yeah.
Can be bad.
Beaches just smell bad in general.
Certain beaches.
Yeah.
Depends on where they've been
Yeah.
I hate
or
like
who's
a-
been there. I
Yeah,
guess.
you ever
Right.
you ever just
Don't get
find
a run-through beach.
a
Don't
fishy
get a
s-
run through beach.
You don't want a fishy smelling beach. Oof.
Never
I
want
know.
that beach.
Well, I guess what's the question? Would you rather go to Genesee Park at the river? or
0%
would you like
chance.
to go to the beach.
Beach.
Neither.
Just give me a
Pass.
clean beach.
Hard pass.
Give me a clean beach.
Hard pass to all the above.
Yeah.
Don't you have a lake house or a cabin or something at the lake?
Yeah. I have a my dad has a cottage up by
Right.
the Thousand Islands.
So you do like the water.
yeah.
Okay.
But that's like a nice, it's like a lake. It's
That's a nice calm beach.
There's
Not
no
too many people are there.
Yeah,
Not too many people have been through there.
exactly. It's
Gotcha.
beautiful.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that we had a conversation about Charlotte Beach at the end of this Maui discussion.
Maui Wowie.
considering the conspiracy theory there. But
Good luck to those people out there.
don't sell. I think that what we need to
Oprah's
do.
gonna buy you out eventually.
Yeah, they're going to buy them out. Guaranteed.
Sad.
That is sad because let's say it's not nefarious. We should still take care of them and say, look, you used to live here.
Of course.
This is where the government, this is where your taxes should come in handy. Like we need to
right.
help you out.
That's right.
All right. You need some gap insurance because your insurance wasn't there to take care of it. All right, we got you. You know, they give them $700. FEMA gave them $700 to take care of their housing situation. $700.
What was that for? A TP?
Damn.
Yeah, right.
It's
An
crazy.
Airbnb TP that they didn't have to. Yeah.
In using the words of the great Kanye West, Joe Biden don't like black people or Hawaiian people.
He loves Ukrainians.
He does love Ukrainians
Ukrainians are white as hell,
and Chinese people.
and Chinese. He sure does. Based purely on the amount of money he has received and or given.
Yep. The
Wow.
big guy. The
That's
big
it.
guy.
Well, I appreciate number one, you coming on the show and being able to speak
Thank you.
about different topics here and to provide your own insight. Also, on top of that, I appreciate what you're doing in the city because, you know, you're giving an avenue for these young kids to, you know, get out some of that energy that we need them out of the streets and into somewhere else. And you're doing something that the government is just not able to do, which is provide that avenue and do things in a constructive manner that connects kids with adults. I think that's the missing link is providing family fun activity.
Absolutely.
Because in this city, it costs so much freaking money to go out as a family to do anything. And was it
Yeah, I know.
$10 for 3 hours of skating
Yes.
at your location?
Can't beat that.
Well, hopefully your next location, you can keep the prices low as well.
I'm
Hopefully,
gonna try, man.
hopefully also you can keep it in the Northwest. But if anyone out there knows of any location that has 45,000 square feet, or are you looking for something that's not
As
that
large
big?
as I can get it.
And that's,
I'm trying to win our city, man.
there you go.
And you know, I've had parents and you know, single people to mention the club life, the where do you go to have a good time where you feel safe, and
Especially a teen nightclub
yeah,
that
yeah,
I grew up on.
yeah, or even adults now.
Ooh,
They-
teen night. Bring back teen night. Ooh,
we did.
No, don't bring back
We
teen
had
night.
Teen Tonic.
I got teenagers. Don't bring that up.
Teen Tonic? What is that?
That was the club we opened in,
Mm,
the,
okay.
in the rink. Yeah.
Nice. Nice.
Man.
You gotta. The thing is, to me, when you're dealing with children, you know, it's not like it was when I grew up.
Or when we
know,
grew up.
Yeah, you didn't have a whole lot. The cell phone thing wasn't in.
Mhm.
The you know, social media platforms. So you're
Non-existent.
outside with popsicle sticks. You're trying to. How many kids know how to fly a kite today?
None.
That
That
in
is
the
a
city.
great question.
None. I took my son to kite flight at Charlotte Beach that we do every year. He had no idea.
But that was the thing. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? I mean, and parents knew where their children were. What is that like today?
Or they didn't know where they were and they were not too afraid of really anything.
Right?
Nowadays-
the community was there.
The community was there, right?
Now mama's twerking with the babies and fighting with the babies.
On the police cars.
Mm-hmm. Twerk, 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 twerk.
Sad. Because I mean, for me, I look at even the country, man. What the other countries are looking at us looking like. I mean, it's just and then you're right here in this city. It ain't even a big city. It's sad. I believe it can be saved if that was the purpose. So,
God's
Yeah.
purpose? Are you a believer?
yes,
Fantastic.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Did you feel the heat across the table from the Satanist over there?
Yeah, you know, I don't have any problem with people who believe. I just don't.
good.
You just laugh at them.
Yeah, exactly.
He gets his Ouija board out and says, "Please tell me how I must destroy them." But no, I seriously, I appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate you
Thank
coming
you.
on. Literally, we met yesterday. We talked. I heard like one thing come out of his mouth about something. Oh, the late night planes that were flying around our city
During COVID.
during COVID for no reason. And as soon as you talked about that, I was like, you need to come on the podcast.
Yeah.
Because people out there in this city need to see this exact thing right here, which is a conversation being had amongst people who grew up differently, grew up in different generations, maybe, who don't believe the same things, maybe, who are able to still have that conversation in a friendly way and not be so
Offended.
animosity
Mhm.
towards each other, or the fact that you grew up in a different area, I must hate you because you grew up in a different area. To me, that's just insane. But yet, that's where our kids are these days. You know, they believe in that kind of
Territorial.
that territorial mindset of you come into my area, we're gonna have to do something about it. And
And what is an area in Rochester?
West side, east side.
That's it. West side, east side.
That's about
It's a
it.
rock that you can hit your opponent. I mean, hit your enemy. I mean, it's not like Chicago or Detroit or,
Right.
you know, it's sad. It's sad is what it is.
It is sad, but it takes people like you who are willing to invest, who are willing to take on that risk, who are willing to say, if no one else is willing to do it, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to step up. I'm willing to take that on. So I appreciate the cross that you're willing to, that burden you're willing to carry there.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I tell people, and I've been on, you know, TV quite a bit, why wait till it hits your door before you can see the benefits? It don't have to be your children. None of my children, thank God, is in jail or been, you know, and not be just because of me or what I've done. You know what I mean? They're children, but there's some out there that most children are more impacted by people that's not their family.
Yeah.
So I believe, you know, that's just what we should do. When we know better, we should do better.
That's right. I appreciate you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you again for coming
Appreciate
on.
the opportunity.
It was a very last minute thing too. I literally messaged him last night, mad late, probably like, 10 o'clock at night. Our guest that was supposed to be coming on, he got called into work. So I said, hey, spot came up. You willing to come on? And your wife
Yes.
messaged me this morning.
Mhm.
He's in. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
Yes. So I appreciate it greatly. I appreciate everything you do. Whatever I can do to help.
The
Please let me know.
CEO seems like she's the CEO. She said
She does it all.
he's in.
He's in.
He's ready to go.
He's ready to go. He's ready to talk.
That's my right hand right there.
As you say.
That's what's up. As it should be,
But
right?
keep
As it
this
should be.
going, man. I'll be praying as well as trying to support. Things need to be told, need to be said.
Right.
And when you said common sense earlier, it's so sad. It's almost like that's something you should have. I mean, you might have to go on Amazon and buy.
It's underrated. Common sense is underrated, boy.
I agree.
Sure is.
So I hope it doesn't get to that point where you can get an upgrade on your phone where you can say, oh, let me have discernment and common sense. No. I'm going to go with this crushing ball game where I can just get mind-numbingly dumb by it. But yeah, I again,
Thank you.
I can't thank you very much. I can't thank you enough for coming on and being truthful and being honest and having the tough conversations and bringing your viewpoints to the point. Make sure you guys follow. Make sure you share this with your friends. We don't charge anything for this. We actually, and by we, money is paid for this. Your only charge for all of this is to share it with your friends. Share the common sense because people need to see these types of conversations. They need to see what's happening out there underground so that when we become, multi-billionaires because we're so amazing at this podcasting thing, then you could say, I was there at the very beginning. Let's go through some comments real quick. I'm so sorry. I did not mean to disregard everybody out there. FEMA won't cover it. I think they will. I think they're giving out low interest loans. That's what they said. Who knows? The algae at Charlotte. I know they were shut down for a little bit at Charlotte and half of Durand Beach was shut down, but the other half of Durand Beach was still open from what I know. Love the beach. That's right. Who was that? Jen Ardone? She's still afraid to come on the podcast. She's not allowed to talk. Keep going. Garden Factory. Flooded out Garden Factory?
Oh yeah, on Buffalo Road.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
My dad said he works at an apartment complex. He's just super at apartment complex. He said he had a huge flood over there as well.
Yeah.
You had a flood at your location, big time flood.
Again today.
Again today? Jeez. I think all these fires were intentionally set by climate change wackos. You meant petitions. Canadian fires will jack up the lumber prices. Yeah, that probably will actually. Housing, $60 2x4 here would be $1,000 in Hawaii for real. Building supplies are at a premium, and because they have to have everything shipped in, it's going to be astronomical. Absolutely, that's where Oprah should have came in. Oprah should have said, I'm going to buy up. You say that, but it is Oprah's money. We can't sit here and say what Oprah should do with her money. But at the same time, if you're going to buy up. You can suggest it. Number two, if you're going to buy up 1,000 acres on your own, Maui Island, I'm going to go ahead and say, you got some trees on your land. Go ahead and get it planed out, get it chopped off, planed out, get some lumber out of her land. That's what I say.
She said they're going to rise up like a phoenix.
No. She didn't say they were going to rise up like a phoenix. She said the town was
The
going to rise up.
town
Yeah.
will rise up like a phoenix.
Yeah, it sure will. Let me throw in another conspiracy theory.
Let's do it.
Play the music. I believe they're doing the same thing with Puerto Rico. When it came to the 2 hurricanes that happened a year after the next year, they never fully fixed anything. On top of that, they're doing the same thing that Maui was doing, where people were sending things to help and they were blocking it. Right? They're doing the same thing in Maui. They're blocking it out. They're not allowing regular people to come out and help there. They're saying it has to come from FEMA, has to come from the Red Cross. That's it. So I truly believe that probably in the next 10 years, if Puerto Rico does not stand up against it, Puerto Rico will be owned majority by developers who are going to come in and buy up the land cheap, because half the houses don't have roofs on them. Half the houses still don't have electricity. And they're going to come in and buy it all up and rent it out for all the people that want to come down for, the beautiful
Sad
climate down there. That's what's going to happen. 10 years. I guarantee it.
United States of China.
Well, let's keep fighting. Let's keep speaking up. Let's not just keep speaking up, because we can sit here and complain about it all day. We have to make sure that people understand that there are actionable items. Number 1, vote appropriately. Number 2, get behind those who are running. If you know someone who is running against somebody that you either hate or you're just tired of, or you just do not believe that they're the right person for the job, get behind them in a way that is, number 1, it takes a lot of money to run for politics, a whole lot of money. Help them fundraise, help get your friends involved. Number 2, share their content. Number 3, invite them over to meet your neighbors. That's huge. That's what I loved doing when I was running for city council. I said, just get your neighbors together. I'll be there. I don't care if it's 3 people or freaking 20 people. I'll be there to talk to all of them and be able to show them exactly who I am, because it takes that groundwork. So if you truly believe in someone who is running right now, because we still have to the end of November, or November, 19th, 25th, something like that, for the general election. I would love to see someone other than a Democrat win something in the city of Rochester, to be completely honest. I really want to see a Republican who's willing to step up, who's worth anything, where the Republican Party gets behind them, so that I can then say to the Democratic Party, I told you so. Again, you need to get out on the streets. Austin should run for something in the city. You're right.
Yeah, I'll do it.
You need
Vote for me.
These Democrats who are just running on the fact that they have a D next to their name is so annoying, because they know.
What does the D stand for?
Not for, well, nowadays, who knows?
Right.
No. Democrats running just based purely on the fact that they are a Democrat. I'm tired of that. We need people who are willing to step in, who are also have the experience behind them to say that I can balance my own budget, my own family budget, a business budget, which means I can then balance a city budget, because I've gone through the budget season for 4 different years. It's going to look bad in 2 years. I'm telling you right now, we're going to run out of money so damn quickly, and we're not going to have any money for anything that we need. I'm telling you right now, that's what's going to happen. So there's my conspiracy theory for city of Rochester.
There we go.
But I don't think it is. I appreciate you again for coming on. I appreciate Austin for everything that he does for this podcast, and for playing the music when I need him to. But at the same time, play that funky music.